girlfriend Jill found your speed dating card.
Oh, yeah, right. God, I've been looking for that speed dating card. Thank you so much for bringing it to me.
Oh, so you wrote hoe for show.
Yeah, I remember that girl. She was a hoe. For show.
Live Drive with John Tory is brought to you by 2-for-1 Pizza. Call 416-241-0241 and get 2 medium pizzas, 4 toppings for only $15.99. Or order online at 2for1pizza.com.
So some people get all the choice assignments, and I guess when you're an old man like me and you've been married for 32 years, very, 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 very happily, the last thing you're going to do is be invited down to media night at the speed dating. But Jamie Hoffing is both younger and single, and therefore he was eligible to be there. He, of course, is the producer you hear me refer to often and does a lot of the work to help us get this show on the road with Drew and the others. And last night was media night, and Jamie Hoffing, who's here in the studio with me now, went down. I did go down for about a half an hour just to survey the wreckage afterwards. So first of all, you got a note here today saying you got a percentage of 75%. And the way this works is, I guess, you meet these people.
Yep.
How many? 12?
12 ladies, yes.
12 women.
Yep.
And you mark down and they do
Yes
you want to
or
see
no?
this guy again?
Yeah.
And do you want to see this woman again?
Exactly.
And the matches are what they refer to. You got a 75% match.
75% of the ladies there said yes to me. That
I
they
met
wanted
some of
to.
these women. I thought they were women of better taste than that. I mean, I'm just saying. So,
and actually, one girl got up and left and went to the washroom. So
to avoid answering the question of whether she ever wanted to see you again,
she just went to the washroom, and so it was. I had 11 of 12 dates, so that percentage should be probably about 95%.
Okay, well, look, just take 75 and be satisfied, okay? Because they say that puts you into the category of a sexy beast on their measurement system.
That makes me an elite member.
I see.
Like I am an
Do you
elite.
get free popcorn or free drinks
I get
or anything
another
like that?
probably free event because. That means women have good time.
What I want to
with
ask you about is a little bit about the process, and I want to ask you, I'm going to talk a little bit about the people I met, because it was interesting to me. They were a bit different than I thought, and we'll talk about that. It is 6:45, and it's time to check on Newstalk 1010 Time Saver Traffic. Remember that music from the dating game? That was a good old show. So the speed dating session, just so you know, you've heard Justin and Annabelle who come in here from FastLife International, fastlife.ca. They're out of town right now in the UK, but they'll be back in a couple of weeks to visit with us. This is one of their sessions, and it was put on kind of as media night, and Jamie went. And first of all, it's held in a bar.
Yep.
The people who come pay, and they're screened out so that they don't just let anybody show up. There were 12 men and 12 women that were invited.
At the Libra Lounge.
At the Libra Lounge, 392 King West, just west of Spadina.
Shout out to Steve on the day.
So on the 12 men and 12 women, how do they get you around to have a little visit so you can decide, do you want to see this person again? How does that work?
So basically, they have like a little mingling session beforehand, and then they have the hostess, Charlotte. She comes in and just gives the instructions. Ladies all sit down at the benches, and each bench is numbered 1 through 12. And then
just so you don't make this sound like a hockey rink, these are benches, banquettes.
Nice
they would say.
Booths.
Mr. Moore would call these banquettes with candles, and they have a drink, don't they? You have a drink if you want. Yeah.
And then you just guys just sit down in front of a girl, and then you get 7 minutes, and that 7 minutes goes by fast. Like you got to get out.
And then at the end of 7 minutes, they say time to move, and you move to the next one.
And then you just move to the next girl. So
okay, now I was surprised at the kind of people that were there. In that, I sort of thought, well, is it going to be a sort of a selection of lonely hearts people like yourself? No, I'm just kidding. You're not. No, but was it going to be sort of lonely hearts? I was. I'll tell you, I was really impressed. These are really sort of bright, young, professional people that all have really interesting jobs.
Yep.
They're not people that are lonely at all. They're just people who say, look, I'm busy. The old days, the old ways you used to find people to go out with, I guess, are not as relevant. So were you impressed that way too?
Very impressed. Everybody had decent jobs, like a lot of people in finance, consulting. Yep. A lot of people like in the business world. Again, like you said, they don't get out that often, and they have a hard time meeting people.
Now, I was talking to them last night, because you don't think about these things till you get there, about the two different approaches you could take, which is out of the 12, you could say, well, look, I'm really just going to look for the two that I really, really think I would like to go on a date with, or you could say, no, I'm going to try and find as many of these as possible.
Yeah, and I got busted on that last night, where at the end of the night, one girl asked, so how many people did you say yes to? And I'm like, probably said yes to about 50, 60% of them, so I said yes to about
And
6.
let me guess, she wasn't one of them,
No,
and so she figured...
she was one of them. them.
Oh, okay.
But she was upset because she said,
You
like,
hadn't just
6.
picked
She's
her.
like, yeah, she was like,
Me and
well,
one other I would
picked
understand,
2,
but
and
yeah.
you were one of those 2.
Okay, so
and then she's like, I'm scratching you off as a no now because you seem desperate.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, the crowd,
Like,
the live audience here in
the
studio
more you say
is-
yes, the more second dates.
So, all right, now, and speaking of second dates, what now happens is today, did you get the email addresses for those? How many did you say you picked? 6 or something?
I picked 6 and I got 5 back.
Okay.
So one girl
And so you
said
get
no.
their 5 email addresses, and it's entirely now up to you or them. They get yours too?
They get mine too, and it's now it's in our court.
You got a date for tonight?
No, I don't have a date for tonight.
What's the matter with you?
Again, you know what? Too much choice. I said yes to too many girls because they're all great girls. So
I see. Okay. Well, and so, I mean, this was something you did kind of because it was media night and because we know these people. But I mean,
I recommend it.
You would, eh?
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of fun. And you saw how many people had fun that night.
I was, as I say, I was impressed with the whole thing. And I don't say that folks, I tell you out there listening, we have no commercial relationship with these people. They're not paying us to say this. They didn't pay us to be there. Nothing. They didn't even give me a drink or a cracker. I just showed up for half an hour and kind of scoped it out.
Yeah.
And now, Jamie, I want to tell you, folks, Jamie did say to me, this is true. He said to me when I came in, I want you to go and ask the women to tell you how the reviews are of me. And I didn't have the heart to do that because what if I went over and said, well, you know, Jamie, I work with Jamie and he's a really good guy. And what did you think of when they say he is one of the biggest turkeys we've ever met? I wouldn't go out with him if he's the only man left. And I don't want to put a woman in a position where she might think that and think she had to say that to me in order to be honest. But I did sort of say so. He asked me to come over here and check him out. And they were quite excited to have met you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I had good game.
None of them said they were excited to meet me because they said, well, this guy looks like a grandfather. What is he doing here anyway? Et cetera, et cetera. It was a sort of an appalling sort of moment where your age comes to. And so I did phone Barb. I want to tell you, I phoned Barb to tell her. She said, well, you're coming home now because I've been out to dinner. Yeah. And I said, well, no, I'm just going to a speed dating thing. And I don't think she knew whether to laugh or cry. She said, well, what are you going to that for? Yeah. You know, that was really hurtful. And but, you know, I am 56 years old and we have been married 32 years and I am a grandfather. So I guess speed dating is not something that I'd be spending a lot of time. They're having one this Friday, I think, for university-educated people.
They, I think so. Check out FastLife.ca.
Yeah, it's one of their most popular, they said, and they have like an oversold thing.
And the thing was, I was actually nervous and I almost wanted to bail, but then once you got in there, it's extremely comfortable. Like, you'd be surprised, again, how fast 7 minutes goes, and you actually approach women that you normally don't you would feel intimidated by. And so it's a blast.
Actually, I wasn't sure what they meant when a number of the women said in reference to their conversations with you about how fast 7 minutes went by, and they heard that with respect to Jamie Hoffing, never mind. We won't even go there. But Jamie, thank you. Thanks for the sound effects, Drew. Yeah, we will check in with you and see, because, you know, there's one of these stories where they have on the TV ads, you know, met such and such a date, married on such and such a date.
Oh, yeah.
You can keep us posted. You promise now, eh?
Oh, I will.
Even the ones that don't work out.
True.
Okay.
So, that's my next assignment.
Jamie Hoffing, and we'll have Annabelle and Justin back in a couple of weeks when they're back from the UK. And after the break, we might just talk for a moment about this new fashion trend they say is setting in here. The people at Vogue magazine where breasts are back in. But we've talked about it a bit today, so I mean, I don't want to harp on it. I don't want you to think that I think of nothing else, because that would not